All right, diving in today, folks, we're tackling some pretty hefty ideas. We're talking about Ibn Arabi.
The great master, yeah.
Exactly, a giant in Islamic mysticism and philosophy. And, his concept of the unity of being, I mean, it's been hugely influential in Sufi thought for centuries.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we're going right to the heart of it, looking at one of his works, Insha al-Dawair, the description of the encompassing circles.
So this one, it's concise.
It is. A really key work, though, lays out a lot of the core ideas about how Ibn al-Arabi sees reality.
And to really get these ideas, I mean, we have to be sure we're looking at the text, right? These old Arabic manuscripts, they get copied and recopied.
Things can change along the way.
Exactly. So our mission today is to get to the core of Insha al-Dawair, and we've got a new critical edition, fresh off the press, that's going to help us do just that.
Should clear up a lot of those textual issues. So one of the most fundamental ideas here is Ibn al-Arabi's concept of existence and non-existence. And he suggests that both are, in a way, present in everything that we see.
So hold on. It's not just a simple, something exists or it doesn't.
Not quite that straightforward, no. It's more subtle. Both relative existence and non-existence intertwined within any given thing. And it's from this idea that he builds out his 4 degrees of being.
Okay, and it's important to remember, we're talking about levels of being that are
separate from God.
Right. So what are these levels?
So first you have existence in what's called essential reality, the A-gene. Then there's existence in divine knowledge, then existence in speech, and finally existence in writing.
Now, he also talks about 3 modes of existence. Is that right?
You got it. 3 ways that things can exist. The first one is being itself, which is God. Second is what exists through God.
Okay, and the third?
This is where it gets really interesting. The third mode is neither simply being nor non-being, something else.
Fascinating. Now, who was Ibn al-Arabi trying to reach with all this? Who was he writing for?
Well, he actually wrote Insha al-Dawair when he was in Tunis, specifically for one of his students, Abrar Ahmed Shahi.
So it was meant to be, like, instructional.
Yeah, he wanted to make these really complex ideas, more understandable. He even used diagrams, tables, visual aids.
A medieval philosophy professor trying to make things clear. Love it. So let's talk about this new critical edition. Why is it so important?
Well, it's the work of Abrar Ahmed Shahi, and it's considered incredibly reliable because he's done so much research. He's looked at a ton of rare manuscripts, really dug in.
And what exactly makes this edition so much better?
A couple of things. First off, he added the vowel markings, which are super important for reading Arabic correctly. Plus, he included all these annotations, showing where the manuscripts agree, disagree, all that.
So we can see how he made his choices.
Exactly. It makes the whole process so much more transparent.
And he used, like, a bunch of early manuscripts. Yeah. Right, not just one.
Oh, yeah. 5 key ones. Each one tells us something a little different, like the Manisa manuscript. From 1257, super early copy, made by someone close to Ibn al-Arabi. And get this, there's a good chance it's based on notes taken by his student, Baithak Habashi, the one he wrote the book for.
Wow, that's direct source.
Yep.
What about some of the other manuscripts?
Well, there's the Wali al-Din manuscript, that's from 1269, probably copied by a student of Ibn al-Arabi's son-in-law.
Keeping it in the family.
Right. And then you have the Bayezid manuscript, older copy, and it's got all these notes in the margins showing comparisons with other versions, corrections. The Fatih manuscript, that one's from 1382. It's got this really detailed colophon, tells you all about who copied it, when, everything. And lastly, the Fahwa al-Din Khorasani manuscript, that one's in Pakistan, dates from 1410.
So they really span like a good chunk of time.
They do. And for that one, Shahi actually used a digital scan, which opens up a whole other way of doing research.
Technology and manuscripts, that's the future. So pulling it all together, what was Shahi's main approach? What was he going for?
Well, it was all about really deep research, looking at all these different manuscripts, spread out geographically, choosing them carefully because of their historical importance. And then he's using all the modern tools, digital scans, things like that. But he's also got that traditional scholarship background. So it's building on the work that others have done, like the edition by Nyberg from 1919, but taking it a step further. And the big thing for Shahi is that he wants to make this text accessible.
So big picture, why is this edition so important? Why should we care?
Because it gives us, as accurately as possible, one of the fundamental texts in Islamic mysticism. This is huge for researchers, and not just for scholars, Now, anyone who wants to understand Ibn al-Arabi's thought has a more reliable and accessible way to do it, preserving this knowledge, passing it on. And Shahi's doing even more work with the Ibn al-Arabi Foundation, translating the text into Urdu, reaching a wider audience.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So just to recap, Insha al-Dawair, it's a look into Ibn al-Arabi's thinking on existence, non-existence, all those big metaphysical questions. And Abrar Ahmed Shahi, he's given us a way to really get at what Ibn al-Arabi was saying more clearly than ever. A gift to anyone who wants to explore this stuff.
And it makes you think, right? If we take Ibn al-Arabi's ideas about relative existence, non-existence, how can we apply that to like our own lives? What complex ideas are we wrestling with? Maybe there's a new way to look at them.
Food for thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, folks. Until next time.